So we are right in the middle of a series called Same Roof, Different House. And we've been talking about the ways in which we can, better handle family arguments, especially during this time where we're all living in very close quarters. And, for a lot of us, we haven't even been able to leave the house at all. So, there may be some tension in the house. And like we've said, in the last couple of weeks, all families argue and all families are different. But they all have at least one thing in common. Every family is made up of imperfect people. And so as hard as, this quarantine is for a lot of people, I really believe that we can come out of this thing stronger than when we entered. And I believe that this quarantine has given all of us a great opportunity to show our families patience, to reach out and forgive, even when, that's the last thing that we want to do. And so, man, let's really challenge ourselves to grow during this time. Let's make changes in our lives and reach out to the people around us. Let's let us be the catalyst for change in our household. Because for a lot of us, we're living under the same roof, but as far as really living as a family, as a unit, we're living in completely different households. But we can change that. We can make that difference. And I think a key area that we have to talk about when it comes to uniting as a family under hard circumstances is how we can better honor the people in our household. And so the title of my message tonight is called Medal of Honor. The first thing I think about when I hear the word honor is the Medal of Honor. For those of you who don't know, the Medal of Honor is the highest and most prestigious military award, given to service members who've distinguished themselves by acts of valor, acts of great courage in the face of danger. And there's only been about 3,500 people who've received this award in our history. So it's a pretty big deal if you receive one. And there are so many inspiring stories about Medal of Honor recipients. One of my favorite stories is about a Marine named Jason Dunham that during the Iraq War, he approached an enemy vehicle to search it, and an enemy jumped out and engaged Dunham in hand-to-hand combat. So as Dunham wrestled the enemy to the ground, he noticed that he pulled the pin off a grenade and dropped it to the floor. Dunham saw this and immediately, without hesitation, jumped on the live grenade to protect his fellow Marines from the blast. And he ended up dying from the blast, but he saved the lives of 2 of his own. And so after his death, he received this Medal of Honor reward for his courage in the face of danger. And there are many stories just like this where people make incredible sacrifices, sometimes even their own lives, to save something that they truly care for. The word honor means high respect or to regard with great respect. And so we honor these people who have sacrificed so much, that showed true courage in the face of danger. And they have, a medal that symbolizes their bravery and how much we respect them. But as I was thinking about this and thinking about my family, I wondered, okay, well, no one in my family has ever received, the Medal of Honor. So why do they deserve my respect? No one in my family, has fought bravely, in battlefield. But here's the thing. Honor has to do with value. And God has given all people value. In the Bible, to honor someone means to treat them according to their true value. Honoring someone is a way to respond to the respect you already believe they deserve. And so the Bible tells us that God gives people value in 2 ways. Number 1, by creating us. In the very first chapter of the Bible, we learn that humanity was made by God in the image of God. And so when God created the first humans, he looked at them and he called his creation very good. So God gives us value simply by creating us. And number 2, by purchasing us. When God came to the world in the form of a human, Jesus, God gave his life in exchange for all of humanity. And this sacrifice was costly, right? It cost our Creator his life. God gave us value by deciding that we were worth fighting for, we were worth dying for. And in a lot of ways, the Medal of Honor, this simple piece of metal, right, represents the very people these recipients sacrificed for. For Jason Dunham, the Medal of Honor represents the 2 Marines that he sacrificed his life for. Listen to me, you are God's Medal of Honor. Every day he looks at you and he's reminded of how much he loves you. He's reminded that he gave his life for you so that you could live. He cherishes you. He puts you on display for everyone to see. You are valuable and worthy of honor. The people in your family may never receive a Medal of Honor, but they deserve our respect because of God's sacrifice for their life. Because of God's sacrifice, because God decided to take the blow and jump on the grenade to save your life, you are worthy of honor. You are valuable. And so look, because we are worthy of honor, because the people in our lives are worthy of honor, because of what God did on the cross, we have a responsibility to honor the people in our lives. More importantly, we have a responsibility to honor the people that gave us life, and that's our parents. And maybe you've been in a position where you've dishonored your parents or guardians with your attitude, your words, your actions, or maybe all of the above. Maybe you've asked yourself, do my parents really deserve my respect? And so I want to take a look at Exodus 20:12. So turn with me to the book of Exodus. I'm pretty sure humans have always struggled to honor and respect their parents. Thousands of years ago, God had to remind his people to honor their parents too. The first time that God ever gave this command to his people was when he gave Moses a list of 10 rules he wanted his people to follow. Those 10 rules are the 10 commandments. And when the Israelites, God's people, were first given this command from God, they had just escaped from the land of Egypt, where they'd been forced to live and work as slaves for generations. And many of the Israelites had never before lived without the control of an authority figure. So God gave his people a new law to live by, a set of laws that would direct their steps and keep them close to him. And one of those 10 laws was this: honor your father and your mother so that your days may be long in the land that the Lord your God is giving you. And so maybe you're thinking, but honoring my parents isn't that simple, right? My parents are a mess, right? Sometimes we look at our parents and all we can see are their mistakes, their flaws. We all make, excuses for not honoring our parents by telling ourselves things like, they don't know what they're talking about. They're out of touch. That's just their opinion. I don't agree with it. I'm not going to live by it. We've all thought that about our parents from time to time. But we have to understand that our parents deserve honor and respect because of how much they mean to God. And so look, this is my wedding ring. It's pretty valuable to me. Not because it's expensive, because it's not, but because of what it means to me, because it represents something very important to me. And if I were to give one of you my wedding ring and told you to hold on, to it for me for a couple days, I would expect you to take care of it, right? I would expect you to honor how much it means to me and help protect it. And so this is kind of like what God has done with your parents. Not only does God love and treasure your parents because they're his creation, he died for them, but he also loves and treasures your parents because they're guardians of another thing that he loves and treasures, and that's you. So God knows your parents and guardians aren't perfect, but the fact that they've taken responsibility for your life is pretty amazing. And so he's entrusted your parents or guardians with a special and really difficult task, and that's raising you. And it's one thing to keep my wedding ring for a couple days safe, but it's a lot more complicated to keep a human safe and well cared for. So no matter what your relationship with your parents is like, here's my point. Being a parent or a guardian is a really big and important and honorable task. You may not always agree with your parents, but I hope you'll try to remember that they've made incredible sacrifices for you. No, they're not perfect, but they're valuable and worthy of honor. So how exactly do we honor our parents? I think it comes down to two things: listen and obey. So the first one, listen. In Proverbs 23:20, Solomon, the wisest man who ever lived, tells us to listen to people who gave us life. Our parents may not be perfect, but they do know a thing or two about life and even about being a teenager. They're worth listening to. And then the next one is obey. In Colossians 3:20, the Apostle Paul tells children to obey their parents in every way. In general, when your parents tell you to do something, you can honor them by obeying them. And I know this can be difficult, but it's worth it. And honor your parents is so much more than a law that's thousands of years old. Because honoring your parents is an instruction straight from God. When we choose to honor our parents, we actually honor God by being obedient to Him. And so by setting our mind and heart on the things of God and asking for help from the Holy Spirit, you can honor God by honoring your parents. And the incredible thing about God is that He sees each and every one of us as people who are valuable and worthy of honor. Now He calls you to be an imitator of Him by seeing your parents in the same way, as people who are valuable and worthy of your honor and respect. Whether it's your mom, your dad, your grandparent, your guardian, here's what God's calling you to do. Honor Him by honoring your parents. And so look, we're not going to be in this quarantine, forever. So we have an opportunity to grow. We have an opportunity to reach out to our families, to our parents, to our siblings, and really make lasting changes. Look, I want to come out of this thing stronger than when I entered. I want to be a better person by the time that we can all meet together. And I hope that that's your goal as well. So listen, I love you guys. We'll be back here next week, same time.